The robot revolution continues. It's Iron Man 2020 number 2. This is the mini event within a comic that we interrupted Iron Man for in order to do another comic. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, this is Perch. I'm here reviewing Iron Man 2020 out today because not a lot of people are, and why not, right? Why go for those high hit scoring X-Men videos when I can do Iron Man 2020? That's what I figure. Anyway, this is Dan Slott and Christos Gage, art by Pete Woods. This is first couple things out the gate. Obviously, spoilers within. I'm just going to say it for the 8,000th time. Please, comic companies, spend the extra money and get a penciler and an inker. This idea that we can just have the penciler and the inker in one, it's taking pretty decent artists. I mean, Pete Woods is a decent artist who can do decent work, has decent framing, has good kind of structure, and he's exposed to some extent by having him do all the pieces. It's just the work is less clean. And I just, there's a downside to this. But and so it's a shame. You pick up these comics and you're just like, damn it. Why is this happening? Because you're getting, pretty decent artists, are struggling, with some of this stuff. So, anyway, if you joined us from last issue, basically the robot rebellion is here, and Arno Stark is taken over as Iron Man with Sunset Bane. He's kind of taking over the mantle. Where does this fit within Marvel continuity? We're not really sure. I mean, simultaneously right now, Iron Man Tony Stark is back in prehistoric times, meeting the Avengers BC. He's also at various times going to be part of Empire with a Y. He's just all over the place. Iron Man gets around. But in this story, Iron Man is basically, this is the Tony Stark that was killed by Captain Marvel way back in Civil War II. He kind of recreated himself as an intelligent AI. He's come to realize he's not the original version. Maybe he's a little depressed about that. And then he's secretly leading the robot rebellion along with Machine Man and some other things. So this comic is basically kind of two sections. Section 1 is robot shenanigans are going on. Section number 2 is let's stage an obvious, poorly planned, makes no real sense heist against Arno Stark. That was a trap, and then a fight commences. You might be surprised when you get to the end of this comic to be like, "Hey, what the hell?" There were not a lot of pages in this comic. This comic zooms through pretty quickly, and it's because a lot of the pages are just, we get a couple pages setting up that the robots are going nuts. We get a pretty painful bit with robot pirates, and these Stingray is fighting a caviar smuggling ring, which why are you doing? Is this comic meant to be a joke? Because a lot of the stuff in it are not serious. I mean, this is supposed to be, the comic sets up a gigantic threat that Arno Stark sees coming, which is this extinction entity is coming to annihilate Earth. Whether this is related or not to the X-Men entity, probably not, but a similar thing. Big robot thing's going to come and cause some troubles. And Arno Stark has seen it. Maybe it's just a dream he doesn't really understand, and it's a metaphor for Tony retaking the armor and putting him in a box. I don't know. Anyway, there's this big extinction level threat, but it's hard to take this threat seriously when we've got a caviar smuggler and we've got a super adaptoid saving a robot dog from a hipster. And then we get Herbie saying, "I'm the robot with sass that kicks fleshy ass." I mean, sure, why not? It's designed to be a lighter-hearted comic. The problem is, if this is an event we're supposed to be taking seriously, kind of writing on par with, what you'd get out of Squirrel Girl is not going to be taken as a big threatening event. And this is not a knock against Squirrel Girl. This writing, it can work. It's just you can't have your cake and eat it too. Either you're doing Jonathan Hickman level, House of X, big event, lots of tie-ins. We're going to try and make a bunch of money here, or you're doing a more younger age kind of jokesy book. And this is definitely written as a jokesy book, but with the trappings of a big threatening event at the same time. So anyway, we get robot shenanigans, and then we get Arno doing Arno things. And meanwhile, Tony is doing Tony things. We get the little, hey, I'm not actually drinking. I'm tricking people into thinking I'm drinking so that it's good cover for me leading the robot resistance. I'm not sure why that's good cover, but anyway, this was the big master plan to get everybody to think he had fallen off the wagon. Instead, he's just drinking super choco soy, 100% nutrient drink. I'm not sure why, but all right. And, he gets a mysterious transmission from somebody on the inside of Arno saying, hey, there's this terrible virus. It's going to make everyone super stupid. And Jocasta is, being forced to be a slave, and, we got to go save her. So Tony's like, let's schedule a heist. And just, again, Pete Woods is a decent artist, and we're getting just very, very weird art all around the board. But anyway, so they schedule a little heist, which is not really a heist. I mean, the heist is like, okay, a couple of us are going to go and we're going to have a diversion, and then some others are going to go and we're going to stop this virus from being uploaded while Machine Man is stationed outside with a rocket launcher. This is not Ocean's 11. This is pretty much just, hey, we're going to do this. You can kind of see it all coming. They go in, and sure enough, it all goes sideways, and Machine Man's lured away, and the virus turned out it wasn't a virus, and it was a way to lure in Tony Stark, and Arno's going to fight him. And then the end. And then we're 2 issues into this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 part event with a bunch of number ones. I mean, the hell of it is, before we get issue 3 of this 6-issue Iron Man 2020 series, we're getting Machine Man 2020, Force Works 2020, Rescue 2020. They're getting Iron Age number 1. We're getting Iron Heart number 1. We're getting I, Wolverine number 1. And so there's just a lot. I mean, good gravy. There's a lot of additional comics. We're trying to sell all this thing. So people, whenever I do kind of one of these more negative videos, I think because people come to my channel expecting more nice comments, maybe, they're disappointed. So I'm not, is this comic for you? I mean, if you like a more lighthearted Iron Man story, you're not looking for anything serious, you're looking for something that would probably very easily translate to a Saturday morning cartoon or something on the kids section of Disney Plus, this comic will do it for you. This is what you're getting. It's got about that level of sophistication, about that level of plot twist, and about that level of swears. I mean, it's, if you are going to giggle at, Herbie the robot cursing, then, hey, this is your comic. This will work for you. And that's that's what you got. It's weird to see Dan Slott. So I know a lot of people online have their issues with Dan Slott and everything else, but this is a guy who carried out some, reasonable storylines within Spider-Man. He did the Dr. Octopus thing that some people enjoyed for a while, and his finale with the Red Goblin in Amazing Spider-Man, generally people thought was okay. He had a lot of stinkers in there with the good stuff, but to read him on this, it really feels like you could take this exact same comic and you could put it into that IDW line for kids of Marvel, action, and it would fit right in. So in terms of it's in 2020, arguably we've been building to this for decades, and we're going to get to do something with Arno Stark that Kieran Gillian put into play many, many years ago, and we're going to do this big payoff. I mean, you got this feeling that when Dan Slott kind of put his proposal together for what to do with Iron Man, a lot of it's centered around 2020 and this event and what he's doing right now. And to see it play out like it's a Marvel action series for IDW, it's a little painful to see that. It doesn't mean that it's all. Again, I think Pete Woods is a fine enough artist. He needs an inker here. The work 2 issues in and he looks rushed, and that's not a good thing, because I really do think he's a good guy in terms of he could put good work out. Christios Gage is attached to this somehow, along with Dan Slott. This does not read like 2 writers were needing to collaborate for such a big story. So, I mean, hopefully some good things will come at this. This comic, again, you rush through it. It's some stuff happens, and then there's a kind of a fight. I mean, there's not a lot of meat to this comic. So we've got 4 more issues of this thing. Where does it all go? How do all these other tie-ins take place? Is the idea of a robot rebellion really, justify what 18 issues? This is the part where if you could see me right now, I've got my finger, under my collar, like, yeah. That's this is a tough one. Shops are not ordering heavy on this. I'll just put it that way, and hopefully something can come out of this. I feel like I'm missing a good opportunity. I mean, a better comic reviewer than me would be going through page by page and kind of really roasting this, because there are some not to use the cliched words, some cringeworthy moments here, and you'll see some of them in the panels on the screen. There's some painful panels here if you're an Iron Man fan. If you think back to the old world of the Armor Wars, or even Matt Fraction's deconstruction storyline, you hold it up to this, and you're like, we have sunk a long ways. I mean, bring back Brian Michael Bendis and Riri Williams. I mean, that's what you're shouting right about now. Yeah, what do you think? Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. Follow me on Twitter at Comic Perch. Like, subscribe if you don't mind. I would always appreciate that. And thanks for listening.